Hey Nemo, doesn't this remind you of a couple books we just read?
Yeah, Ender's Game and War of the Worlds are very similar.
War of the Worlds is a novel by H.G. Wells about an invasion of aliens who dominate the Earth.
These aliens kill with extreme prejudice and drive the human race to the brink of extinction.
It follows an unnamed narrator who meets many unique yet scared people as he travels to find his wife.
It's interesting to look at human nature when there is nowhere to turn and no one to help you.
At the end of the novel,
Spoiler alert!
the aliens surprisingly succumb to Earthborn pathogens. Ender's Game is a book about an extremely intelligent boy who gets drafted by the military at a very young age to learn how to fight aliens known as buggers.
These enigmatic buggers consume Ender's thoughts, torment him throughout the novel, coming to a climax during the last battle between man and alien.
Ender's Game has helped us to answer our guiding question of why are people so interested by sci-fi and what elements are the most engaging.
Hey Aaron, let's get out of here. Let's go somewhere that's more calm.
As stated before, our guiding question is why are people drawn to science fiction and what elements are the most engaging? We feel that our two books fully answered this question. In Ender's Game, the characters are very realistic and also very relatable. Because of these factors, Ender's Game is able to draw in its readers very intuitively. This leads to a more engrossing novel.
Ender, a young boy, seems much older than his ripe young age of 6 years old. We watch him progress 8 years of his life, which take quite a toll on the child. The plot of the novel is very interesting, and even without fascinating characters, this would still be a striking story.
Ender's Game is written in a way so that readers can connect, yet still in an unimaginable far future setting. This is why readers enjoy sci-fi so much. It's a mix of fantasy and other elements that create the sweet concoction of gripping stories.
War of the Worlds continues this trend, but more like started it, with extraterrestrials landing on Earth and slaughtering the human race. Since War of the Worlds started this genre of aliens coming to Earth, it was interesting to see how this original piece would deliver. Throughout the story, the author weaves an interesting plot, throwing the reader into a fast-paced alien apocalypse.
Accompanied by a cast of colorful characters, this is truly an engaging novel. War of the Worlds brings the main character to his breaking point as he has to cope with the destabilization of multiple characters. The clergyman especially tests the main character in more ways than one.
One reason why the clergyman was a problem for the main character was the fact that he completely broke down during a part of the story that could have killed the narrator. Now this part I was able to relate to quite easily because what would you do if one day you're confronted with this unknown creature that begins killing humans with a heat ray? I think an acceptable action would be to break down. Maybe the part where the clergyman broke down was a little cliche, but it would happen.
This level of relatability is exactly why readers are so drawn to the science fiction genre. The harsh reality of never being able to go back to the old days is gripping and doesn't let the reader go until you read the words, "The End." War of the Worlds was one of the first sci-fi novels ever made, and it is easy to see why the genre has stuck around so long.
This novel was originally a radio broadcast. Because of its realistic news broadcast, a few people in October of 1938 actually committed suicide in fear of being abducted by these Martian intruders. That's where the story spawned from, and from there it became one of the best-selling science fiction novels of all time. Now what fascinates me the most is the fact that after this podcast and the creation of the book, so many people have bought and read it despite its origins.
Therefore, we feel that these novels very accurately answer our guiding question. There is truly more than one answer, but we think that a large portion of it is the relatability of characters and accuracy of events, which are the main parts of sci-fi novels. It's interesting because this can also said to be true in any given novel.
One thing I enjoyed greatly about the science fiction novels that my partner and I read was the fact that science fiction has no bounds. It's limitless. You can essentially write about anything your heart desires. You can go to space and find an alien race for mankind, or you could fight on Earth. As long as the author can weave a great storyline and keep the characters relatable to the reader, the story should usually be fine.
That's right, Nemo. As an avid science fiction fan, these books are top-notch, and we recommend them to anyone who is interested in, or even not a fan of this quickly expanding genre.
In conclusion, this being a first time reading science fiction for me, I truly enjoyed reading these stories. At first, when I was presented with the idea of science fiction, I scoffed, thinking, science fiction is just for nerds, right?
First strike.